many forms of music. There's no such thing as the blues, because although a lot of people think there are, a lot of people are very traditionalist or think, oh, the only blues is this blues or that blues. But in fact, it's not, because the blues, like all forms of music, can be different from town to town, or county to county in America. But I do love the early country blues, which is also heavily influenced by gospel, and so that's when I first started to realise, really what the blues was. So I went along and the first night and absolutely loved it. And that sort of, I think that was December the 5th, 2010. Sort of transformed my life really, because through that I met an awful lot of, made an awful lot of friends. So most of the people I know now are musicians, because I was diagnosed as sort of suffering from social isolation, which, I had a lot of friends, but they'd all sort of moved away and I hadn't replaced them. And for many people, it's the best night of the week. It's just people together, just enjoying themselves. Yeah. And we live in an area which is, fairly dominated by older people who otherwise might find it difficult to have a reason to come out. But they can come out to their sing-arounds and their folk clubs and their blues nights and ukulele nights.
What I did was I pushed it up.
You just add say it to the next time.
I just scanned
To myself.
I'll show you these.
You get any stuff?
No, anyone's all right.
I've got
I can sit down and not you're at station house, but this is.
So he's okay. I mean, the bus is
Now this is the funeral procession. They still haven't figured out
The trends are changing. More youngsters are starting to
Although it's quite hard to put a tight definition around it, I think those of us that play it and enjoy it know what it is. Because you've got to go back to the beginning. It started off very much as the music of the cotton fields, of the slave workers, if you like. They were doing it to both entertain themselves. They were telling stories. They were telling stories in code about their situation. When a blues song refers to "My woman treat me bad," it's really referring to, the gangmaster treating them bad, that sort of thing. And so they were talking to each other in code. They were using music as a way of sort of simply entertaining and alleviating some of the hardship. And then from that, it grew into an entertainment format.
Unfortunately, with the early blues players, what sort of future did they have? Many of them didn't live into old age, really. They were old before their time. If they couldn't work, they couldn't earn money. So they had to busk and earn what cents and they could earn. Many of them died young through
drugs and drink because they didn't see any future for themselves.
Some people just say the blues is sort of downtrodden people expressing their dissatisfaction with their lot, and it's sort of expressing misery and that. But it is basically expressing the whole gamut of human emotion and human existence, from joy to the misery and the downtrodden parts of life. But obviously, it's 12-bar, often the 12-bar format. It's as much a feeling as anything there.
But I don't like to see it sort of just pushed out and say, well, therefore everything is blues, because quite clearly not everything is blues. There's a feeling of the music and of the content which makes it blues, but quite hard to pin down as to what it is.
Because people will always feel down or have the blues for a variety of different reasons. It may not be the obvious things. We're much more aware now of mental health. And we'd all like to think that maybe society is better prepared for people with mental health. There are people out there that have suffered badly over the last few years for a variety of reasons. I mean, if you like me and I'm addicted to the news, I need to know what's going on. Well, that's all very, very depressing. There's not a lot of good news about it at the moment. But then my dad would probably say, well, but what can you do about it? You've just got to focus on your own life and get on with your own life. Now, writing songs was always, for me, it was a therapy thing. It helped me with my mental health issues, because and for some reason it made me feel like I was doing something, reflecting on life and telling stories about things that had happened in my life. Big black train coming down the track, blow your whistle long and long. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. I lay my penny down on the rails, summer wind sings the less line song. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. Baby, 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 I'm so alone. Baby, baby, baby,
when MFAB started, it started in 1998 by a guy called Mike Shipman, and I think Peter Gabney got involved very soon after. And so at that time it was called Sway Acoustic Blues. It was in Sway, held at a pub, and then the pub closed, and then it went to Sway Working Men's Club, which also closed, and that's why it ended up here in New Milton. But those early origins were all very much about the music, because it was a couple of guys who liked playing acoustic blues music and were pretty good at it. And they attracted other people who liked it and were also pretty good at it. So when I first went along 10, 15 years ago, whenever it was, I was taken by a friend who played the blues and was amazed at the talent in the room. And there were a lot of guys who could really play acoustic blues, and so I played some. I played all my life, and but this seemed to be at a different level of both playing and knowledge, and so it spurred me on an awful lot. I learned a lot and sort of focused down on blues from all sorts of music that I'd played before.
Big black train coming down the track, blow your whistle long and long. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone. 1 minute you're here, next minute you're gone.
Most
Can't get the stuff no more. And it's about prohibition and about certain other things which you couldn't get at that time either. Now little Suzanne used to sell her grease. She got in trouble with the chief of police. You can't get stuff no more. No, you can't get stuff no more. No matter how you try, you can't buy, you can't get that stuff no more. Now bootleg.
Well, what I like about the club, I mean, there's two things. There's the company and the music, and because I've been to other blues, was a blues jam in Christchurch, and there wasn't much socialising there either.
Because what most songwriters try and do, I think, is not only express their own feelings, but maybe try and provide a message that's speaking to people. Maybe the sort of people that find it difficult to speak to other people, but can do so through their own songs.
So I wasn't a singer-songwriter as such. I was a writer of songs, that was really more about the context, about getting a story across, different sorts of stories. It's quite a hard work process as you try to tell the story, and some of it's in code. Yes, I would fully admit that I certainly would never write a song that was so obvious that the headline level words meant exactly what the underlying words would. I might be having a dig at something, or all sorts of little sort of things that I would be the only one ever to know. And I'm sure you listen to someone like Bob Dylan, and that's exactly that. People for years have been trying to decode his songs, but probably get nowhere near what he really thought about when he started into some of those things. And so I think that goes on, doesn't it?
They won't get by, the money be gone before they die, and face up to the God they're worshiping. Don't run away from things you've been, never as bad as it appears. Don't you worry about a thing, 'cause worrying, it never changed a thing.
And if we all go through good and bad times, and sometimes, especially in the bad times, you need a soundtrack to that, something you can hold on to, and maybe feel, I'm not the only one that feels this bad. There's other people out there that feel exactly the same way as you do.